Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333 and welcome back to Hearts Round 4, New World Order, Old War Blues, as of Ural League. Now in the last video, we started organizing a militia, as well as approaching the commune of Orenburg for an alliance, or something of a sort, against the new NKVD and the Dirlevanger Brigade. The Council responds. The Council's factions and pettiness have managed to drag debate on fundamental issues to a grind. Military, economic, and diplomatic issues are deadlocked by disagreements between the hardliners and sympathizers, rural and urban delegates. And the Ural League struggles to keep consensus, which never existed outside of their notepads. The meeting appears to be, like so many others, impossible for a stillbirth. Then, a lone commune delegate splits himself off, I'm afraid, marches to the podium, reminds the delegates of the presence of hungry things more dark. Dirlevanger and Slinko and beyond, them horrifying stories seeping in about what is left of Verdina, armies using human waves, power struggles, and tin-pot tyranny. Against such things, he tells them, there's no cure but unity and brotherhood, and the spirit of liberty cannot be allowed to perish on the altar of purity. He glares at his own delegation for an uncomfortable minute. Then he proposes a simple program. Mendrix will visit the communes on a goodwill tour. Naturally, both sides will respond to show goodwill. Military advisors will be sent on both sides to ensure security economic support will be forthcoming to be used at Council's discretion. And yearly bilateral talks will ensure this relationship continues to develop at an even pace. He simply listens, thinking, slowly the debate shifts to practical solutions and then scheduled planning. Against all odds, the delegate has ensured the meeting's success, and Freedom of the Urals draws another beautiful and possible breach. I can't believe that actually worked. Alright. So that looks like things are going good between us and Orenburg, which is very nice. Oh, a welcome invitation. Word has finally come back to prosperous Orenburg and its surrounding settlements. Our proposal to hold bilateral talks to deepen our bettering relationships, and from there building an effective diplomatic infrastructure, while also asserting common threats that threaten both our party's future existence, has finally been accepted. Likely having required a tremendous effort for the more reasonable members of the council to push through, this greatly welcome invitation to meet with the many representatives of Orenburg, a rare treat for outsiders of the communes to receive, has opened a great host of opportunity for us to now make the best of use, advancing our interest. Mendrix was reported to have visited the old chapel, this fortress, immediately after hearing of the welcome news, having offered both prayers for the safety of the guards in Orenburg, but also for the friendship that was being fostered between the two. In a time of darkness, hopelessness, and fear, this little event, so insignificant outside the small region of Russia, has given a great deal of people the now a significantly more realistic expectation of a better hope, and not from themselves than those who would follow. Praise be God. Training militias. Resettle refugees again. Oh, there we go. The council invites us to visit. Mendrix came out. Mendrix came out of an outside door, greeted by a tremendous din from a sea of voices, before even seeing the countless faces of many people he was about to present the guard's position to. As he entered the hall, he felt the slight uncomfortable associated with having told an untold number of eyes focused on you. The conversations had also died frightfully quick. Except for a few slight whispers, the room was silent. The slender priest gripped the small wooden cross in his deep pocket tightly, then began to speak with his eloquent, articulate, yet somber tone. First asked for a representative to offer the gift that he had brought from the guards. After a brief low murmur among the council members, a muscular bearded man, likely a farmer or manual worker judging by the hefty calluses in his hands, as he reached out to introduce himself to Mendrix. Surprisingly, the man pulled a beautifully woven winter coat from his chair and entrusted it to the priest, uttering not much more than his practice lines that this gift was a show of Ornberg's spirit. Yet this was not seemingly an unfriendly gesture. Menders was also amused to see his man nervous and wait for his reaction. With a large friendly smile, Mendrix returned a pleasant gesture with his own gift, a specially crafted knife, a symbol of the guard's violent yet protective nature. Deep down in his thoughts, he already felt a glimmer of inspiration for an address, much like a sermon. As he observed the stark contrast between the two gifts and what they represented, this was likely going to be a very successful meeting. Brothers and sisters, there shall be peace. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. I'm not very comfortable with the swastika right above me. But, country with a swastika flag right above me. The Russian flag also throws me off. I think these are the guys who view Russians as a true Aryan race. Something like that. Read something about that in the lore. I think that's what it is. I don't entirely know, though. Train the militias. Resell the refugees. How's this doing? We're getting there. We are definitely getting there. And, is anything gonna happen? Is one thing gonna happen in Germany? Because I'm expecting this one thing to happen. Our common interest. Can watch for troops. Yeah, let's watch for troops. In fact, if you're wondering what this is about, the Nazis are robbing the shit out of this place too, and it's so bad that there aren't even any countries at the start of the game. Though if a certain event happens, that's gonna change. I'll tell you that much. I don't want to get into it. Ornberg accepts our offer. The ambassador we sent to the Peasants' Committee of Ornberg returned late last night. He carried a dictated response from the Workers' Council of Ornberg. Brothers in the Ural League, your call to mutual defense. Mutual cooperation is not only an irresistible offer, but one necessary for the survival of liberty. We hope to begin cooperation as soon as possible, for the menaces of the Black Mountain and the Huns will not wait. In the face of evil, we must set aside our differences and fight as one. Our government is already moving to be accommodating for the treaty. We will not let this opportunity go to waste. Unity in the face of evil. There we go. And anything else we can do? Resell more refugees, of course. Quite the controversy. Endless blue inspiration. The skies were all Russia had left, Anatoly thought. The great blank azure above cannot be reached by the Hunnic horde of parasites their conquerors spawned, neither by the squabbling tyrannies of the motherland. So by definition was the greatest asset the Rodina could offer. In some ways, it was the only semblance of unity the shards of her people could grasp. It was comforting that he had been ordered to observe the endless sky for half an hour, along with 100 other recruits on the square of a barracks. Big thoughts for a village boy from Uskavat, of course, but he had not encountered. But had he not been encouraged to dream? Sergeant barked, and the marshal began his walk to the podium in front of him. The marshal came to attention only partially due to fear of the rod. The marshal brooked him no discussion about his past, but whispers floating around him hinted at a military one. Perhaps he had been a member of a local garrison, or even one of the veterans of a long march from Vortuga. Perhaps even a brother to Mendrick himself. It was a commanding figure, despite his age, dressed in faded khaki, with the flourishes of a Ural guard, and his deep-lined face summoned as much fear as it did respect. I stood facing the cadets, beginning to speak from a microphone jury-rigged to functionality. My fellow soldiers, it is with pleasure that I welcome your induction into the Guard. We begin by asking one simple question. Why are we here? To serve your parents, perhaps, or to make your or to make your village proud, or maybe you think a place in R ranks will help you get laid. Laughter broke out across the parade square for a half minute. No, my friends, you're not here for your friends, family, God, or girlfriend. You're here to help me build my dream. I dream of a Russia where everyone is equal in service and loyalty to his fellow man, while the hidden evil of the land are purged by common zeal. The marshal throws up his hands with applause. And now you are here. It will be your dream as well. A dream worth fighting for. More manpower. More army experience. That's what I'm talking about. And we'll get a 5% now. To all that. We can also probably just stop there for this if we wanted to. What are we at? That's not too bad. We can keep going. Let's resettle the refugees once more. Oh, we need towed anti-tank. Why do you need towed anti-tank? Strange. Let's get some support equipment going now. Hearts and stomachs. Recruitment has been difficult in Orenburg. While the Guard has attempted to replenish its numbers with volunteers from those it protects, as it always has, many of the communities of Orenburg are in dire straits. Even if they put on a proud face, no matter how rich the city of Orenburg itself is, destitution infects the land like cancer. This is more evident ever when Senior Lieutenant Kobayev and his squad arrived in Krasny Mayak, a village without so much as a sign to distinguish it from the mud that covered it. When they did arrive at the village, Senior Lieutenant Kobayev, as he always did, had mounted a stool and began regaling the villagers with tales of the Guard's bravery from their noble mission. He spoke at length of their long march from Vorkuta? I don't know. Of the many dangers they had faced along the way, and of numerous victories. The destruction of the Basagi Black Brigaders. Their triumph against a pack of 100 wolves in Sverlovask that had been prepared to overrun the village of Berdiyunga. Even of his own escape of the cannibalistic cult of Stone Mountain. Is that a New Vegas reference? I feel like that's a New Vegas reference. Anyway. Yet he was not halfway through a regaling reconstruction of the Battle of the Svoy 77 when villagers interrupted. Jeering shouts destroyed what little hope that comrade lieutenant had of finding any suitable recruits, as villagers demanding not tales of heroism, but food, water, and warm clothing. If you wish to protect us and feed us, came one angered voice. I cannot clothe my children, and you wish me to fight? Came another. After several minutes, guardsmen dejectedly began handing soldiers their rations or their coats, or anything else they could get their hands on that they had on their person. Soldier Yudin was relieved of his coat. Junior Sergeant Yapotov turned in his cigarettes, and Ivanov was pressured for his watch. By the end of the day, the Guard left Krasny Mayak without a single recruit, and far poorer than they arrived. Can we truly help those who cannot help themselves? Well, that's the question. Okay, we're watching the troops. Now let's raise the issue. Got more army experience. Let's resettle more refugees. Now let's get going. Oh yeah, I remember this guy. He's from base game. New guards. Let's reserve some guns for training. Real quick. And let's go lower training standard, get some more guys going. As well as just resell the refugees. will no longer be effective after you settle, after however long. But we're gonna get it back soon enough. Raise the issue. Just have to see. Propose a chairperson. We'll see what pops up with Orenburg. Volga German, Russian, also Volga German. Oh! Adolf Hitler has died. Tragedy has consumed Germany as the news spread throughout the Reich and then the world. Adolf Hitler, Fuhrer of Germany, victor of the Second World War, has died. Whilst the Fuhrer's declining health had been speculated about for some time, the news has nevertheless left Germany in a state of complete shock. The Reichstag has announced that 3 months of mourning shall be held, and that the Fuhrer shall be buried beside his late wife, Eva Hitler, with dignitaries from around the world invited to the funeral. While Germany mourns, internationally many are celebrating the death of a man held responsible for 3 decades of suffering throughout the world. Yet many international commentators fear what may now become of Germany, the Third Reich having already been embattled in a bitter power struggle over a rightful successor to the Führership. A day to remember. Well, rest in piss. We got the Reichstag Emergency Council. Raise the issue. And there's another fucking border conflict. Okay. What do we want to do now? Let's get working on going down this real quick. Shuffle of the veterans. Number 1. Russian life is like a series of nesting dolls. There's a palpable tension in a cramped room where the leaders are sitting in a league, hidden in their own polished hollows, in a fortress ensconced? I've never seen that word before. In another fortress on the mountain range, anger, harsh disagreements, the occasional scuffle, but one common word, tossed around inside the enormous doll like a poisonous medicine ball. Orenburg, Orenburg, Orenburg. The name bounces around the page falls, daring anyone to pick it up and play with it. It's the biggest fear of the day. Having seen the broken communes as a vague nuisance still need protection, the Ural League is unaccustomed to dealing with them as a diplomatic equal. With hostiles knocking at the gates, however, it's clear that the customary is no longer enough for the safety of Southern Urals. A decision must be made. A faction of generals propose a direct approach. Overwhelming both will make the commune bow to our will. Demands and brashness could guarantee a successful annexation. Another faction proposes a gentle seduction rather than violent ravaging. A dance of alliances and mutual guarantees that will surely work better and require less than the use of aggression. What passes for a diplomatic corps in the League is concentrated here, yet another group proposes an innovative and exciting technique. Infiltrate and slowly turn their government towards the League and its military and government assistance. Here are gathered the intelligent apparatus of the League, its dark quarters and hidden skeletons. Everyone else fears them, but no one can deny their their proposal's merit. Debate stumbles onto the early hours of dawn, tired of stillness and letting senseless arguing struggles on the contemplating man seated at the head of the table. Then gutters out a pavement sigh. Of course it always comes down to this. The priest, the helmsman, the peacemaker, the kingmaker. He takes a breath. Got that voice crack. And the men strain forward. And it's settled. Mendrix has spoken. The debate is ended. The Ural League moves at dawn. Unity is our strength. I'll try subversion. I've tried unity before. I don't think force is gonna go very well, so I'll try subversion. See how that goes. The enemy is defeated. That's what I'm talking about. Refuge's army's back together. Ilya, get back in there. Strike at the League. Response. We are under attack. Drockelranger's raiders are launching a daring raid against one of our gulags, responsible for training new members of the Ural Guard. From within the gulag, our commander's area had been on the radar to command requesting orders, which our generals agree come down to two simple options: hold position or fall back. Simple facts, but we know the Gulag better than those savages do. Our positions are fortified, and we have a duty to fight these bandits whenever we counter them. But the main force station is comprised of either recruits or newly trained members of the guard, a little match for Dokelvanger's forces. If we order them to hold the line, they will surely take heavy casualties, all for a facility which probably isn't worth the sacrifice. What should we tell them? Retreat then. Let's train militias another time. Resettle refugees again. Nazi bastard. Friendship of nations. As the Soviet Union once stood together, so too will we. Orenburg is our ally, our brother, a bulwark against the madness that this world has descended into. No longer must we treat our neighbor as a rabble-rousing child, a stubborn horse, or a disobedient soldier we must pick up slack for. Orenburg is none of these things. Like us, Orenburg is a strong, proud nation. Orenburg is full of strong, proud people who must treat as fellow Russians, not merely as those who wish to stake out their own fiefdom. As light in these ever-darkening times, it is our duty and our salvation to spread our light to others. Who are we to deny it? Only by approaching our brothers in Orenburg as equals will we begin to see the first step on the journey to a better tomorrow. For the sake of our children, for Russia, and for tomorrow, we stand united. There we go. And they're still proposing... How long does it take to propose a chairperson? 35 days? It feels like it has been longer. Ooh. There we go. The German Civil War. In the wake of Adolf Hitler's death, the Reich has erupted into chaos. Despite the fear's appointment of a legal successor, powerful factions within the Reich have taken up arms against one another, with the interest of leading the nation in their vision. The nation is torn with entire garrisons ignoring orders from Germania, and flocking to their successor of their choice. The gravity of the situation not yet known, it is estimated that the Reich is either facing or already experiencing total collapse of central authority. Though not much is known about the fate of the Reich's eastern administrations, the sudden cessation of contact between Germania and her possessions has created speculation on if those regions will too find their fate. What is known for sure, however, is that the collapse of Europe's Titan has thrown the continent asunder. The end of Iraq, surely. It is thus necessary that the individual should finally come to realize that its own ego is of no importance in comparison within the existence of a nation. Adolf Hitler, 1933. Well, someone should have told that to your country, but... Oh! For a long time, daily life in the remnants of Russia, not protected by the Urals, has been defined by the ruthless Luftwaffe bombing campaigns. Many Russian citizens grew up used to hearing the engines of the German airplanes, the plunge of their deadly payloads. Yet something's changed recently. Many Russian citizens just had a good night's sleep. Then as they woke up and went on their daily routine, they noticed that the whole day passed without the bombings. A day then turned to a week. Whoever had access to radio networks and some grasp of German confirmed the rumors. The Germans collapsed into civil war, and the bombings will not be returning anytime soon. For many people, this is a relief. It allows them to start rebuilding more properly. However, in the halls of power, this is an opportunity to more properly deal with their enemies, once and for all. Well, that's good. Oh, and general uprising in Poland. Godspeed, Poland. So we got Spear, who's the closest thing you have to liberal in this game. You got Goring, who's a fat fuck. We got Heydrich, who's fucking despicable even for Nazi standards. And we got Bormann, who's, from what I understand, more or less the same. We've got Hans Speidel, who's assuming control of Germania, with Rommel as a neutral faction. which is... Ooh. The Africa Shield. That's the alliance with, all these countries, right? Yeah. This is all interesting, don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna read all these events. I'm just gonna read the events that are kind of relevant to, us. Chaos in Uslan. Karl Donus seized Crimea. Oh, fuck. Britain declared war on France. Franco-Burgundian War. Civil War in Madagascar. All squad leader Fyodor Mikhailovich could hear was the crump of explosions all around him. A tightening noose of thunder and light. Screams echoed around the wilderness of the night. All unanswered prayers and profanities mingled in the harsh air. No one could have seen this coming. Not a man of the People's Training Militia of your league, but here was. Mikhail's heartbeat soared into lifetimes. The plan had been simple at first. Secure the objective Anton at dawn, and Boris and Vasil by evening. No one expected what appeared to be an ambush prepared by the bandits for the convoy. The instructors had been the first to down the chaos, pinwheeled into smears of blood in the grasses. Now the remainder of the platoon was pinned in a grotesque version of their own training exercise, with low supplies, low ammunition, and mounted camp casualties. Soldiers tinned soldiers towards a furnace. Excuse me. Fyodor looked to Grigory, then to Mikhail, both firing sporadically in the darkness beside him. He promised to get them home. He was, after all, squad leader. A roll in the die in his hand, and was settled. Shame it had to be this way. Now he yelled with all the strength at him. All squads, execute rear movement and prepare for the breakout. Squad shadows in his file jerked to life, shuddering with effort under the fear and stress. One by one they moved to the rear, and the strains of machine of fire swelled to a climax behind him. But he stayed. 2 grenades, 3 magazines emptied. Keep your men safe to the last second. Body over body jerked and fell. Too little, too slow. He drew a grenade, slumped over. Time stretched to infinity. 1 hostile, 2 hostile, 3. Pulled the pin. 1, 2, 3, 4. When naming day came for battalion, they voted for Fyodor. It was the only unanimous vote the battalion ever had. Dulce et decorum est. Pro fratria mori. For Fyodor. For Alexei? Yeah, I think that's the name. Alexei and Fyodor. We still have refugees. Shuffle with veterans. And after this... Oh, the English Civil War. Yep. English Civil War. It's, we got Edward here versus Claude Auchinleck. I think that's how you say it. Shuffle veterans. We got... Let's assert ourselves real quick. Orenburg. Ooh! Burba! My man. Now that's what I was worried about a little bit. Because last time I played this game, fun fact, Orenburg kind of collapsed into anarchy. That was fun. Republic is doing pretty well. And then there's the Hintergut movement, which is Israeli in nature. That's part of the hidden goop movement as well. I want painted black. There are a lot of provinces here with only one manpower. We really should figure that out. Oof. That's a pretty thick burgundy. I do not like that at all. Well, with that, folks, I'm going to have to cut it here. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, go and leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of my content, you should go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more uploads every weekdays, well, as every Saturday. If you have any comments, feedback, concern, anything of the sort, go and leave in the comment section below. Oh, that voice crack again. I read all the comments I get, and I appreciate any all feedback you guys might have for me. If you want to support me financially, I have a Patreon link below. You can check that out. Chat, play games, and just have a fun old time generally. If you want to support me financially, Patreon link below. You can check that out. Chat. There's also Discord down there as well if you want to chat, play games, and just have a fun old time generally. That's about it, folks. My name's Undago. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.